yelling at Brent to stop. I'm begging him, pleading him to stop. She kept going. If she wasn't dead right there, she didn't die from just getting ran over.
This is 23-year-old Tyler James O'Keefe, one of the passengers involved in a reckless driving accident that tragically ended the life of 21-year-old Darian Sather. Yet a shadow lurked within this case, something Darian's ex-boyfriend, 25-year-old Peyton Thomas Mulryan, desperately tried to conceal from the curious eyes of the detectives.
I'm not a killer. Neither one of those two are. It was an accident.
Whose idea was it to go to the park?
It was Brent's.
While Peyton claimed it to be an accident, his friend and the third suspect, 48-year-old Brent Scott Gerber, had a different story about his involvement in the crime.
He was pushing on her, like hitting her in the throat, and the dude in the back had a taser, and I'm like, dude, shut that thing off, because it's traumatizing to me.
All three suspects insisted they were innocent, each distancing themselves from the crime. But little did they know, the detectives were already dismantling their facade, one lie at a time, and the Mastermind's plan was about to fall apart. Detectives were not prepared for the gruesome scene that they were about to witness on April 4th, 2023, at South Fork Park in Acme, Whatcom County, Washington. The lifeless body of 21-year-old Darian Sather lay right in the middle of the road with her face crushed, seemingly from a brutal accident. The most disturbing part was the fact that, despite the other wounds on her body, it appeared her cause of death was a vehicle running over her head. With the suspects on the run and no solid leads, detectives were grasping at shadows until a familiar face surfaced on surveillance footage. It was 23-year-old Tyler James O'Keefe, a passenger in the car that ended 21-year-old Darian Sather's life. Unaware he's about to be treated as a suspect, Tyler walks straight into the interrogation room.
Do you know why we want to talk to you?
I have a pretty good feeling about the whole Peyton Mulryan thing.
Peyton who?
Peyton Mulryan.
Yeah.
He's been one of my best friends since we were like 7 or 8 years old, so.
So you hang out every day, or what?
No. We just started hanging out again maybe 6 months ago. He asked to borrow money about maybe a year ago, and he asked for 40. I gave him 60, trying to be a decent friend, and he blocked me on Facebook the minute he drove out of the driveway. So when I saw him, next, I understand. The gal he was with at the time was a total junkie. He did a lot of. He got into it pretty bad too. So I was a little upset still, but like I said, I've known him probably longer than I've known anybody. So what this is all about is why me and him had another falling out, pretty much, because he did make me aware of what he was going to do, or at least what he said he was going to go and meet up with a gal and said he's going to rob her. And
can we take a break? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So can you go back to give us some times and dates, and just keep in mind we've got warrants coming in on Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah, of course.
All that stuff. So we know a lot of what's going on. We just want to give you the opportunity to be truthful. Okay.
Yep.
So can you go back to maybe Friday night where you were, and
Friday night.
Would have been Friday night the 3rd.
I want to say so. Friday night. My fiance and I got into a pretty big argument, and I ended up leaving around 12, like midnight, maybe 12:30. I'm not sure. I went to his house, over to Peyton's house, and I was there until about 4:30ish. I don't know exact times and stuff, but it was around 4:30 when Courtney picked me up, because I was not down to go and just to rob anybody, for that matter. Like, that's something I did when I was a kid, a teenager, and I'm well past that, And so, yeah, she came and picked me up, and I went home. Her and I went home, lay in bed with our son, and I woke up around maybe 7:30, I think. I hate snitching, I hate doing any of that, but he told me that they did follow through with the robbery or whatever, and he was just freaking out, and he was really paranoid, and he was really, I could tell, he never told me what went down, but I could tell he was very distraught, you know what I mean? He was pretty freaked out, and he was honestly getting on my last nerve because he wouldn't tell me what was going down.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I had a ride back out to him and was back out there by 9 at the latest.
Tyler may be portraying himself as a kind-hearted individual, but it is just a mask, and behind it hides a manipulative, evil mind. All his attempts to downplay his role will only fall short because little does he know that the detectives already have plenty of evidence stacked against him. Soon, the confrontation would start to crack his fake alibi.
Well, it's pretty important, Tyler, that you remember some of these things because, like I said, we were getting the information that's slowly coming in with the messenger, the Facebook Messenger stuff, and the phones and everything else. All right, so we want to be able to indicate that you're being truthful, but there's some holes in your story right now that we know aren't.
I'd love to fill it in. I'd love to fill it in.
Well, yeah, we've got some information about how you were with Peyton. So tell us more about that.
How I was with him?
Yeah.
Well, in which
we've got some still shots of you in the truck, the white truck with Peyton. Tell us about that.
Being with Peyton when
I
don't believe that I was.
Well, we believe that you were because you're a pretty distinct looking guy, and the photos speak for themselves. So.
White truck.
Yeah.
I mean, guess I'm asking where at because I don't.
Well, in various different places.
Various.
You and Brent and Peyton. So Ken and I have been working this since Saturday morning. So
yes, of course.
Lots of people have called in with tips. Lots of people have given us lots of information. There's as you probably know, video and still photos all over the place, people's properties, and that kind of stuff. So we know the route that you guys took out of there. So we got different people who have offered us their footage from their homes along the way. So we're able to put a lot of that together and piece a lot of that together. So Tyler, we know what happened. Again, maybe if you want to start over, might be the best thing, buddy. Hey Tyler, let's get something straight. We don't think you did anything like this purposely, okay? Not at all.
Here.
I wanted nothing to do with that. But I was in the truck with them, yes. I was not. I was in the very back seat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I was not an aggressor by any means. And can I actually get the f*** out and walk after we left the scene? And the Brent dude was not letting me out of the f***ing truck.
All right. We know you were in the back seat, okay?
I just don't want my fiancé to get in trouble.
Well, we don't either. Okay, and that's why, again, just telling the truth right now is the best thing
Yes, I was
for you.
in the back seat. I guess where are the holes? And just let me. I won't lie to you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
We keep hearing about this taser that's being used.
A taser being used?
Yeah.
No. A taser. I did have a taser, but I did not use it.
Looks like taser.
Yeah, no. The taser was only brought out, and because I was sitting. She's here on this side, and I'm over here, back here on this side, and all I did was in the air, and it scared.
To scare her?
To scare her, yeah. Well, because she was hanging on, and the dude was starting to speed up fast, you know. But dude, I wouldn't. My old lady has kicked a couple times, and I'm not the type of man to.
What did Peyton tell you about why he wanted to rob?
That's still, the reasoning on this is still, that is not anything that I have knowledge on.
Okay.
there's no good reason.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So did he instigate the contact with her, or did she instigate it?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she hit him up asking, or being some type of guy to just go around and ask people if you need something. But so I'd assume that she hit him up, and he said, and then he said, yes, we can do that.
Okay.
The whole way, I kept telling them how this is not a good idea. This is not. I have a bad feeling. This is not a good idea. And then Peyton mentioned something about how she had just been robbed. That's what it was. Peyton mentioned how she had just been robbed 2 days prior.
Okay.
And I don't.
Did he say why?
No, he didn't tell me why. I don't.
Okay.
Honestly, I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know if it was a decision made between the driver and Peyton to do this, but this was whatever I was saying. They weren't listening to me. They were giving me the cold shoulder.
Was it more Brent's idea or Peyton's idea?
I don't know. I don't know Brent. It was the first time I'd ever met him, but I mean he was pressing Peyton to continue, we're not going to turn around, and so maybe Peyton didn't have enough. I'm not sure. And at one point Peyton was saying, no, you know what, maybe not. Let's not do this. And Brent was like, dude, we're all the way up here, man. Because none of us had money. He's like, you're gonna owe me gas money, this, that, whoop-de-whoop. And yeah, I mean, I guess it worked.
You guys already there at that point at the park?
At this point, Tyler realizes that lying won't work, since the detectives already know that he was more than an innocent participant and chose to shift blame onto Peyton for the accident. What comes next is Tyler's shocking description of how they orchestrated the dark plan that sealed the fate of Darian.
Okay. So maybe the decision was made on the drive there to rob her because he knew that she'd been robbed a couple days prior?
Perhaps, yeah, because everything was going fine. The gal got out of the car, and she went over to Peyton's window, and they were talking. I think they even smoked a little bit. And
did he ever give her any of them?
Yeah, I saw him pass her a bag.
Okay. Did it look like an ounce?
It didn't look like an ounce.
Okay.
It didn't look like an ounce, and then I think that's when Peyton said, go. Okay. And then the driver's like, what? Peyton's like, go, go, go. And then the driver sped off. Okay. And the gal jumped onto the truck.
Tyler's mention of the driver is the cornerstone of the case, and he will soon be sitting in the same interrogation room, and the detectives are about to discover who the real monster was.
Jumped on the truck where?
So, basically on the passenger side, and then at one point was kind of in the center of the hood, center of the vehicle, and then it was
So she's not on the running board, she's on the hood of the car?
Yeah, I swear to God, this sounds like something out of a movie. And then the dude slammed on the brakes and then kept going.
Okay. Then what happened?
He didn't stop.
What did you hear? What did you see?
He kept going. He never stopped. I turned around and I could see the girl, and she was trying to sit up. She wasn't dead right there. She didn't die from just getting ran over. But nobody would stop. I'm yelling at Brent to stop. I'm begging him, pleading him to stop. He decided to keep on going, and then me and Peyton we're both agreeing, okay, she's not dead, and Brent's like, no, I know she's dead, I fucking ran that over, this, that, and I swear to God, I almost started strangling Brent there. I was like, dude, she's not a dude, she's not just some, I don't know if he's a sociopath or what, but he didn't seem to care, he didn't seem to fucking feel bad, and me and Peyton were both freaking out, and that's why I was asking him to let out of the truck, because it's not what I asked for, it's not what I signed up for.
His story of self-victimization continues on for a while, but what he strategically hides in his role in the accident. Since he blamed Brent for the accident, it was time to find him. Tracking Brent down was almost impossible because Tyler had met him only once and knew only a little about him. He was hiding in the shadows until a police informant revealed his whereabouts. Although Tyler put the name on Brent, Brent is about to reveal a completely different version of the story.
Well, Brent, Ken and I here have been investigating for the last couple of days, okay? We talked to all kinds of different people all over Whatcom, Skagit County. We've compiled some evidence, okay, and we're taking your truck as well, all right? Again, several people have talked to us already, and we've had people identify you, cameras all over Mosquito Lake and Highway 9. So we know that you know why you're here.
Oh,
we just want you to explain to us what actually happened, Brent. You had a bird's eye view of everything, so why don't you go ahead and tell us what's going on, buddy?
These guys had me give them a ride to meet some people. Apparently, something to do with she had robbed this guy or got stabbed, or he got stabbed or some shit, and then...
What was his name, Brent?
Peyton?
Peyton?
Like, I guess Peyton. That's all I've ever heard. Like one time,
Okay.
somebody called him. And so I took him out there, and then
Took him out where?
to where they used to have the fireworks, Acme Enormous Park or whatever it's called. And this car pulled in or whatever, and they like sat back kind of behind me, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And watched him in the mirror. So then he's like, just go back there. So I backed up to him, and this girl gets out and goes over and talks to the dude. Well, I was on my phone. I don't really care why or what happened, you know, or what between them. And it wasn't like I was there because I just asked for a ride because I don't have a car or license or some shit. And then he's like, go. And I was like, what do you mean, go? I said, okay. And then she jumped on the truck, and they were fighting or whatever, and I just kept going, but I don't know what happened. It was like, dude, you should have just went when I told you to go. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You know? Well, he jacked her money and whatever else from her. And it scared the shit out of me because I didn't know what was going on, and so I just kept going, and, you know.
Okay. How do you know these guys?
They're staying in a motorhome at my buddy's house. Well, it's not my house. They live in a motorhome too.
And that's where those two are staying.
Well, not two. Just the one. The Peyton kid.
Peyton.
That's why I agreed. I'm like, okay, I've seen him there a few times. I'll give you a ride, whatever.
So what exactly did he tell you that he needed you to do when you drove him down?
To Acme, to
And
meet this girl.
To meet the girl. And then what did he say he was going to do to the girl?
Jack her money.
Jack her money. Okay, got it. Okay. So and how did this other guy get involved?
They're buddies.
And you know his name?
No. Yeah.
He said, you need to drive, can you drive me down there? I'll give you some money.
To meet this girl, and I was like, yeah.
I need to jack her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, whatever, dude.
Okay.
Why would you tell me that?
Right. And all you were doing was just driving him down.
Yeah.
You didn't want to hurt anybody. You weren't looking at anything like that. You were just giving him a ride. He said he'd give you $50.
No, he didn't say amount. How much he'd give me. He said, I'll give you some gas money.
I'll give you some gas money, okay. So you drive him down there, his buddy comes with you, you get down to the park, you drive down and kind of go around that big circle down there.
There's a parking area
or
something back there.
And then did you pull off onto the side anywhere?
Yeah,
okay.
We pulled off when they sat there on the grass or whatever.
And I think he said you didn't wait very long. They showed up fairly soon.
I got out and took a leak and smoked a cigarette, and she was there.
So these other guys told us that you were nosed out, and then they showed up, and then you moved to the truck back a little bit.
They were sitting behind me, and I'm like,
okay.
What are they doing?
So you felt more comfortable with
being...
You didn't want them behind you. You wanted to at least be able to see them?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like pulling guns out or something.
Sure.
No, I didn't want to get...
as far as you know, this is maybe a drug deal going on, but
Yeah.
they're getting their money, or Peyton's getting his money from this girl, is what you understood.
Yeah.
In an attempt to downplay his role, Brent tries to look innocent and clueless about the death of Darian, mentioning he only offered a lift to his friends. But Brent is hiding something darker than the detectives can even imagine. Brent's attempt to look uninvolved in this crime doesn't go well for him. Backed with years of experience and solid evidence, the detectives start to chip away his narrative until the truth finally slips out.
So she jumps up onto the running board, and then the window was rolled down, or the door
Yeah,
was
she
open?
was like reaching for whatever he had.
Okay.
I don't know.
How long had she been in there before they told you to go?
How did she get them? So you said nobody got out of the truck. So did she reach in? Like, was it?
Yeah, they did it all right through the window. But I was sitting there on the phone, and I was trying to just like not even look, because I don't want into your business. That's your business, you know. But I don't remember if he said something about the bong. He was going to give her the bong, and she was going to give him some money, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if she got the bong or if he kept the bong, because I didn't really pay attention to that part. And then he was counting money. Not like out loud, but he was sitting over there going like this, you know.
Money that she'd handed him?
You know, I don't know if she did hand it to him or if he just took it from her.
Okay.
I don't know, but why would she just have it in her hand, if, you know?
Well, she was expecting something, right?
Yeah, I think so, pretty
Okay.
sure.
All right.
That's what he does.
But he didn't have any drugs with him to sell, or he just took her money, because she'd been
Yeah,
involved with
so
something.
I think that's why he was giving her the bong,
Okay.
like to hang on to, it was collateral or something.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. So then
So
how long do you
parts of
think, how long do you think it was that she'd been in the vehicle, or hanging on the vehicle before you drove off? How much time?
I mean,
Went by.
while they were standing there talking,
Yeah.
it wasn't maybe like he handed her the bong and she smoked off it and
Okay, gotcha.
whatever, blah, 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 and he's like, okay, go.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, and that's what he was, he's like, you looked at me like, huh, and I was like, well, fuck, do I look like I'm
Yeah.
a professional driver or something?
All right. And she's still hanging inside the window at this point?
She was riding on, like,
On the
as I
floor.
was going, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
dude, get off my truck, like, what the and she was on the running board, and
Uh-huh.
then she wasn't, so I don't know.
Okay.
Hanging onto the door like this, or like on the
Yeah.
A-pillar, or?
Yeah, like a fireman, you know, like hanging
Yeah.
100 feet on the running board and hanging on the door and like trying to grab whatever he had or punch him or whatever. He said she hit him. I remember him saying that. But I'm sure they were hitting her too. I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah. No,
So when she was on the running board, were they just, you said they were trying
Yeah,
to
that
get her
dude in the
off. Were
back
they
had a-
punching her? Were they pushing her? Were
Yeah,
they?
he was pushing on her and like hitting her in the throat, and the dude in the back had a taser, and I'm like, dude, shut that thing off, because it's traumatizing to me.
Detectives are yet to find out if Tyler is lying about the use of the taser, or is Brent wrongly accusing him. Although Brent attempts to portray himself as a witness to a gruesome detail, detectives know better and don't buy the story.
Did he do her? Did he touch her with the
I don't.
taser?
I was trying to drive. I don't know if. I don't know. I didn't ever hear nobody scream or like, you know, like they were hurt. So I didn't. I don't know if they hit her with it or not. But
Did you could hear the,
like what the.
you could actually hear the taser going off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he kept doing it when we were driving. I'm like, dude,
Okay.
I had the SWAT team in my house dragging me out of the house and hitting me with that thing. And it's PTSD for me. Don't push the button.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable to see his casual approach to describing the gruesome death of a person he's directly connected to. He thinks he can convince the detectives that he was just an innocent driver, But a chilling detail is about to take this investigation in a different direction. Additionally, his account matches the details of the murder. Darian did have a taser mark on her chest, but who used it on her is what the detectives soon find out.
Anything else you can tell us that might help us with these other guys? I mean, did they say anything negative about her after this happened? I mean, you said you wanted to go back and check, and they said no, don't go back.
He said she's fine. Just don't worry. She's fine.
What did you think happened?
And he said was something bad happened or happened to her. You know, well, she fell off the running board. I figured she probably, you know, it would hurt. It wouldn't be something light. And she's like, and he's like, no, she's fine. She was moving or whatever, and those guys were standing. I remember looking in the rearview mirror and seeing the guys standing by, or wherever she was.
Okay. So, did Jenny tell you what happened then to the girl?
No.
Okay, she didn't tell you that she died.
What the? Oh. Why? What the?
Whether his statements are true or just fabricated, a confession has been extracted. Brent was the one behind the wheel, turning the life of Darian into ashes. The next step now is to bring the most crucial piece to solve the puzzle: Peyton. Brent has been established as a crucial link that will lead them to the central figure of the crime.
That's Peyton.
You want to put your initials there?
What for?
Just identifying Peyton.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you don't have to, because it's voluntary.
If that's where you want to. No.
He has that address, too.
What's gonna happen? Like, what? Am I in trouble for it? Like, what did I do?
Yeah, well, you're gonna be arrested. Okay.
So at this time in the investigation, we feel that your actions caused the death of another.
Me?
No way.
Peyton Mulryan was not just a random drug dealer who called Darian randomly at a park. Rather, Darian trusted him because he was her lover. She'd even listed in a relationship with Peyton Mulryan on her Facebook account at the time of her murder. She possibly forgot to change it. As detectives attempt to uncover the secret behind her death, the final thread weaves the whole story together as the detectives discover the person who set up the drug deal.
So why do you think you're here, Peyton?
I already know why.
All right. So do you want to talk to us about that, or ask us questions, or just tell us what happened?
I guess I would say I set up a drug deal. The drug deal went bad.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know anything else after that because dude kept driving. But I was a passenger.
I understand that. Yeah, we get that.
I was a passenger.
His repetitive statements don't prove him to be an innocent passenger. He instead will soon be exposed as an evil man who had crafted a dark scheme in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, like, I didn't even do anything to her.
Yeah.
But I was a passenger. I didn't hit her, I didn't touch her, I didn't do none of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the one who tased her. I'm not none of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I understand where I could be getting charged, but I don't understand, like, why I'm being charged with something so serious.
Well, that's what happens when we have a crime, right? And we
You don't know what to do?
Well, no, we figure out people. All right. So we have the circumstances of what we think happened, right? So then we continue to investigate them, and then we arrest one person, right? The driver.
Yeah,
you know that.
Of course, yeah.
And we get his side of the story. So then we go off of that. So then we arrest Tyler, right? And he tells us a totally different story. And now it's your side of the story, correct? We understand you're just a passenger, but we want you to fill in the blanks that maybe we don't know. You know, Brent told us one story.
Brent.
Tyler told us filled in a little more detail, and now it's your opportunity to tell us what. Okay? That's all it is.
The detectives corner him with the mounting evidence, and cracks in his narrative begin to show. Now it's the wannabe mastermind's turn to face the consequence.
What do you want to know?
So you set up a drug deal with Darian.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you please not say your name? I'm so f***ed up from it.
No, that's okay. Oh, we won't. What do you want us to say? The girl? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's back up. So you know her
Yes.
from previous.
Yes.
You had a relationship with her?
Yes. Friends, yeah.
Well, I thought you had an intimate relationship for about a month after she got out of prison. Or jail, DOC.
Yeah.
So you've always known her.
Yes.
Tell us what you remember.
I didn't do it.
I know. Tell us what you
How am I
remember.
being charged with it?
Because it's in the commission of another crime.
So am I going to be charged with the same one?
Yeah.
Murder one?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
Is it a fightable case?
that's up to you and your attorney. I can't tell you that. Can't give you any legal advice.
Am I the only one?
All three of you.
Peyton, he already told you that they already gave their version of what happened. So what he's asking you is for you to basically go through and say, this happened, and this happened, and that happened, because their accounts are a little bit different, and yours probably will be too, right? But we weren't there.
It was a drug
You
deal
were.
gone bad. That's all it was.
How about the drug deal? What was it for?
Money.
No, I know, but like, what was the terms, right? What kind of quantity
An ounce.
of, and how much was she gonna pay you?
$250.
Okay. And whose idea was it to meet at the park?
Brent's. It wasn't meant to happen like this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of those two are.
Who had
He
the
ran her over. It was an accident.
It was an accident?
It was.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to take nobody's life, no.
Right. No. Nobody's
And I wasn't
saying
even driving-
you're
I
a
wasn't
killer.
even driving the car.
Nobody said you're a killer. People said you weren't a killer. You've been reading too much on Facebook, haven't you?
I haven't even looked.
Okay. Your sister's been telling you what people have been saying. Is that what's
Talking shit.
happening?
A lot of people talking.
Yeah. Is that what you're thinking? We don't think you're a killer.
I
We want the facts. We're objective.
Oh, I'm being charged with a murder.
Well, that's the RCW. For the totality of the circumstances, meaning the actions that took place. All right? What do you think should be charged? An accident and nothing?
Not murder one. I didn't premeditate this.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody even. It wasn't even supposed to happen like that.
How was it supposed to happen?
That's what we're trying to tell you, ask you. Brent has a different story. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay? And I will tell you. If
I
you
heard
tell me
about a
your
little
story,
bit of it. Yeah.
and I'll tell you what Brent
He's
told
trying
me.
to say I paid him and all sorts of stuff to do this and that. And
Yeah.
that's not true.
Well, that's what he's telling us. If it's not true, then tell us what happened.
So you're in the front passenger seat, Brent's driving, and Tyler's sitting in the middle?
He was right behind me.
In the back?
Yeah.
So Tyler's in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are all three together.
Yeah.
Darian hits you up for drugs.
Yeah.
And you say, yeah, I got some.
Yeah.
You agree to $250.
Yeah.
And how did the park come into play? Whose idea was it to go to the park?
It was Brent's.
Brent's idea?
Brent's idea for the meetup.
But you're the one communicating with
Yeah.
with her over Messenger.
Yeah, but he chose the area.
Okay. So
This wasn't just my idea.
okay. So you're saying Brent chose the park, right? So then you communicate to her, hey, how about the park? Did she know where it's at?
Yes. No, she
Or did
didn't.
you have to
Buddy
give her-
did. Her buddy did.
Her buddy did?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have to give her directions?
No, I didn't.
So what happened? The car pulls up.
She goes to the side, I grab the money. Brent tries to take off. Tyler tases her.
So you said
The only thing I did, because she hit me in the face, is I blocked her. I didn't touch her. I don't hit girls.
hang on, she hit you in the face?
Yeah,
Where at in the face?
right here. She wasn't hard though.
Oh, is that
More like grab me.
Is that why it's a little puffy right there?
Is it puppy?
Far from remorse, Peyton shows concern only for his jail time, a trait often seen in narcissistic psychopaths. Detectives start to play along with his version of the story, and as expected, they find major discrepancies in his version. Realizing that he's about to be charged, Peyton starts to crumble.
So you said, so they pull up and did she get out of the car, or were you guys parked next to each other like car to car?
Car to car, but she got out of the car.
And came to your window?
Mm-hmm.
And did she hand you money, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what did you do?
We drove off. Tried to.
Did you count it? I mean, did you verify the amount or anything?
No.
You just trusted that she had $250 because she said she did?
Did at any time did the exchange of happen?
No.
Just
There was no.
grab the money and
Yeah.
What do you mean there was no?
There was, but not a lot.
not an ounce.
Not an ounce.
So you guys knew that you were going to sell $250 worth, but she wasn't going to get that much?
Yeah.
Okay, so she gave you the money, and then did Brent just spontaneously decide to take off on his own, or was there a conversation, or
I mean, in the beginning, yeah, that was the plan.
is to get the money and then he take off
Yeah.
and not give her any?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys intended to rip her off. I mean, that was the plan. So Brent took off, and was she inside the window? Did she grab onto
Yeah,
something?
she tried to grab onto something. I don't know what she grabbed onto.
What did she grab onto?
She tried to grab onto me, but then she's grabbing onto the door, and then Tyler tased her.
So, and the vehicle's moving, right? And she's on the vehicle. And is she screaming or saying stop, or you said she hit you? At what point did she hit you?
I don't think she hit me. She like grabbed my face.
Oh, like just grabbed at it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you didn't hit her back or anything?
No, I never hit her.
Is she dangling? Is she running on the ground? Or is she standing on something? Or
I'm not sure what she was standing on the side of the door. I don't know what she was standing on, but she wouldn't. Yeah.
but she wasn't getting off.
Until Brent started driving really crazy.
How fast?
So, yeah.
Like 40 miles an hour.
40?
So he kept jerking the.
Okay. And Tyler, you said Tyler tased her at some point
Yeah.
during that?
Yeah.
Where did he tase her at?
I'm not. In the neck, I think, or in the arm.
So, I
And
mean,
that's when she fell.
is when she got tased?
When she started getting tased her for a good minute.
And so when she got tased, she fell off, you said?
Yeah. Took her a while, but yeah.
So when she fell off, what happened? Was Brent still driving? Did
Brent
he
just
stop?
kept driving. I was like, dude. And Tyler's like, dude. And he's like, nope, I'm out of here. He actually almost crashed leaving out of that place because he was going so fast.
Okay. So when she fell off, what happened? Did Brent stop?
No.
Did he hit the brakes?
No.
How did she fall off? I mean, she's hanging right inside your window.
She got tased and then she just fell off. Well, he kept jerking, and then she fell off. This is pretty serious.
It is pretty serious.
He realized that he was playing with fire for far too long and has ultimately been burnt. Yet he's only concerned that if his actions are proven to be premeditated, he'll be facing a significant punishment.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty serious.
I just don't understand how it could be a murder one. Because I didn't premeditate it.
Do you want to tell me? Well, there's a funny little law called the Bart felony. Okay, burglary, arson, robbery.
And kidnapping.
So it's automatically a murder one?
Well, when people die in the commission of those, it kind of amps it up.
Commission of a robbery amps it up to a murder first.
It's the rest of my life.
And since your robbery was premeditated, it was more than a moment in time where you guys were planning the robbery. Yeah, it bumps it up to that.
It's the rest of my life.
Yeah.
The confession of all three came out, but with a bitter compromise. The most shocking were the plea deals that reduced first-degree murder and first-degree robbery to first-degree manslaughter, which lowered their punishment. Even worse, the prosecutors couldn't prove it was premeditated. Payton was sentenced to 13 years in prison with 3 years probation on October 30th, 2020. The same day Brent received a 9-year sentence. Just 2 months later, on December 10th, 2020, Tyler was sentenced to 9 years behind bars as well. 6 others involved were also arrested during the investigation. 29-year-old Tiffany Mulryan and 35-year-old Cody were arrested for hiding Peyton Mulryan and escaping the arrest. 29-year-old Zachary Hartness, Kimberly, and 28-year-old Swent were arrested on April 10, 2024 for assisting in the crime. Even though the culprits received their sentences, the community and Darian's family were left unsatisfied with the punishment. Brent, Tyler, and Peyton all had an equal role in planning the dark plan that sealed the fate of Darian Sather. Do you think justice was truly served with the sentences given to Darian's ruthless killers? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.